Welcome back to Mega Man Zero. Last time, we just fought through a big army in the desert, and now we've got the final normal mission of the game. We've gotta stop some hacking. Hey, wait a minute, we've been in that hidden base before. So there was a secret area in the hidden base that we partially found because there was a cyber elf near it. But there's a hidden section that we could have uncovered, and if we did, CL would have been like, yeah, you don't need to go there, and it's very well protected anyway. So, congrats, if you found that, you know exactly where to go for this mission. We are, however, getting the very ominous theme for this one, like, damn. Like, are the hackers, like, killers or something? Yeah, this is one of those songs that's very short, a little bit repetitive, but definitely very eerie. Also, yeah, even though this does get covered up for the, fight in the desert mission, it is already uncovered for this one, since we did do a previous mission where we broke the base open. CL does have to take down the barrier again, but other than that, things are actually how we left them, kind of. So we've got some new enemy setups here, mostly these explosive guys, because the stalactites are already taken care of. Which I actually think that's pretty neat, right? Like, there's a bit of continuity to this one. Because we already went through this base once, so like, obviously things are set up from the last time we got through, but they have a few more defensives, like the fact that they've melted the entire ice rink, and not only that, I mean, yeah, we've got these robot squids, sure. But we've also got... There we go, we've got a boat. Yeah, so this is reminiscent of some of the stages in the later PlayStation X games. I'm thinking of Metal Shark Prayer, but, like, not bad. This one's better. Also, I said a ship, I lied. It's actually two ships. You saw the end of that one? Well, guess what? Here's another one. There are two ships in here. How did they get these here? Is this connected to an ocean? I guess it must be. Because otherwise I don't know how they managed to just fit these in here. We didn't see these frozen in the lake before in the first mission. That one was a lot more simple. But yeah, of course, I bring up Metal Shark Prayer because that is a crushy section. You know, you can't get crushed to death. That's sort of the intent of it. But again, it's just less bad than that stage. Though, I like the platforming more. The Cyber Elf is a pain to get to. This one right here, yeah, that was not my first attempt. Rest assured, I did not get that one immediately. Also, that's very risky, Jesus. So, while we're here, topic of the day, I guess is the Pantheons, because I don't think I've ever drawn attention to them that much. But yeah, the basic ass enemies of this game are called Pantheons, which of course, they look vaguely like X, except a lot less friendly. Instead of having a face, they just are Cyclopses. They're cycloptic, they've got the glowing red eye. No pupils whatsoever, they're just in for maximum intimidation. Cause, you know, in fantasy, the fascist regime looks spooky, and not kinda stupid if you actually see them. So we could move right into the computer room. However, instead of prisoners this time, we have cyber elves, which I guess they're still kind of prisoners, it's just they don't really use the cells in the same way, they just have the boxes in front of them. So I'm just gonna show off all of the areas with cyber elves, and we're going to skip the rest, because that's just kind of a waste of time. Yes, it did take me a great number of times to get this correct and go to the right rooms. How did you know? Honestly, if you don't need cyber elves anymore, either for not caring about them, or if you're just on a new Game Plus and you've already collected them, this goes a lot more quickly. Though you do also need to beware of not killing enough enemies, because that is always the danger. Anyway, though, right, yeah, so Pantheons, very intimidating. They are kind of just as variable as Zero is with his Z-Saber, you know? He can do a lot with that Z-Saber. Well, it's less impressive for the Pantheons, but they can be equipped with a great number of weapons, or sometimes wings / jetpacks. So yeah, this is the door that Ciel would not have been able to open in the sneaking mission. Here, though, we just come in here and smash the computers. Start with this one, if you don't need any lives, and I don't, because this hack actually starts you with more. Because... yeah, the bottom ones contain energy crystals that will disappear if Ciel is speaking. And yeah, I don't want to skip over Ciel speaking, that'd be rude, but I also don't want to lose out on E-crystals. Anyway, though, yeah, and of course, the Pantheons, name-wise, are also... they also fit in pretty well with the rest of the naming scheme of this game, because of course, Pantheon refers to kind of a polytheistic group of gods, so... considering a lot of the bosses are either named after deities or, at the very least, significant mythological figures, it makes sense that kind of the basic and ass enemy is just sort of the grouping of the major gods. So anyway, you probably also noticed that you don't get teleported back when you smash the computers, because of course we've got a boss here. I do like how this is a fairly innocuous arena. Like, you just kind of pass by here and it looks like a standard obstacle to kind of get you used to spikes while you're underwater, but yeah, you actually have a boss here, with Fairy Leviathan. This is one of the more obvious names, right? You've got fairies, the concept, and Leviathan, the big sea monster that has appeared in enough Final Fantasy games that I think it gets a free ice cream. So, right, we do have a lot of room to work, but as always, things get a little trickier if you aren't on screen with Leviathan. She really likes to fill the screen up and distract you constantly, because when you're trying to deal with one thing, it's really easy for her to nail you with another thing. That's easy enough to dodge, but while you're dodging, she might swim straight into you. You've got plenty of room to move, but she's still better than you in the water. And then, of course, there's the fact that that's a death pit, so if you mess up in just the right way, you die. Destroy that dragon with a spinning slash, because otherwise it just sort of exists for way too long. And yeah, that's another thing she tries to distract you with. This one's a little harder than I usually give it credit for, but in fairness, I usually use her weakness, but... you know, first time against the boss, I want to go without an element. Next time, however, we will kind of just ruin her whole day. In much the same way that Harpooia just has his day ruined by his weakness. And missed out on clear time probably because of the Cyber Elves, but hey, I got enough enemies. Right, so that will do it for this episode of Mega Man Zero. That's all of the tasks Ciel had for us. So, what now then? We've got everything done, so that's a pretty significant blow to Neo Arcadia, right? So we'll just walk on up and, oh, that's the bad thing alarm, isn't it? That's the bad thing alarm. So yeah, I usually like to save this mission for last, in part because it's the last on the list, but also because I think it's just kind of fitting that the last mission diverts your attention away from the front entrance and gets you, you know, taking on the computers that are hacking. I think that's just a good ploy and leads right into this mission. A lot better than Fefner's mission, where you get done cutting their army apart, and the moment Zero leaves the battlefield, the Resistance base gets invaded. Which doesn't look great for the Resistance. If the moment Zero leaves, everything just crumbles automatically. Anyway, Ciel's kind of blaming herself for things, and there's kind of a reason for that. We are at the plot twist of the game. Yep, That seems pretty bad. Alright, I don't think CL created the entirety of Neo Arcadia on her own, but yeah, she is behind X. What do you mean regenerated? Did you bring him back from the dead? Did you know Anubis Necromancis? Or Metal Shark Player? Okay. X is not that, I guess? Well, no time for context. If you want your context, you're gonna have to beat the next mission. We've gotta save the Resistance base, and we'll do so next time on Mega Man Zero.